Bhanu, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Bhanu, thank you so much for your time. Just watch the episode. It's been quite a wild ride for you. What was it like watching it all back?
Stephanie, first of all, namaste. And I want to take this moment and say thank you to CBS. Thank you for my guru, Jeff Probst, and to the entire Survivor team who worked tirelessly day and night and for putting this great show. And to all my fellow contestants, I love you all. And from one superfan to all the superfans who are lending your love, your support, and your encouragement, it means the world to me and to all the contestants. So thank you. And Stephanie, to answer your question, it is a dream come true. It is such a surreal thing. To be on the show is one thing. To get the opportunity is one thing, and to be on the show, it's a miracle. And then finally, during my send-off, my guru, Jeff Probst, gives me a hug. That's it. Stephanie, I won.
Yeah, that is winning in and of itself as a super fan. Yeah, you said you're a big fan of the show, have watched every season. What surprised you most about watching the game versus actually playing the game and being there on that island?
Being on the island, I wasn't caught with surprise because I was living in India on the streets. I grew up in poverty, and if you've seen my story, it's just like the Survivor thing. I lived under thatch roofs. When it used to rain, it used to we used to get wet, and it used to pour. There was nowhere to hide, and I'm okay with that. And Stephanie, for the record, I didn't sleep for 9 nights. I didn't complain. I didn't eat, no problem. Here's a man, Stephanie, you're talking to, who had 10 shoulder dislocations, and I went through a major shoulder surgery just to be on the show. That's how committed I am. Only a few months ago, before we actually started filming, I had a shoulder surgery, but I gave it my all. If you see Stephanie, I was standing next to Q, who's one of the, he's a professional player, but you never see me backing off. I was giving it my all right next to him, giving it my, because this game means so much to me. This game is so much bigger than anything else. And then Jeff Probst is there. I don't want to let my guru down. And I was just like giving it my all. So the living part, the what do you call, the competition, that didn't like really, I didn't struggle with that. The emotional part is where I struggled, because growing up on streets, we always relied on each other, and we never like backstabbed. There was nothing, because we want to move in and move. We want to help someone to move rather than like, pulling them down. I came with that mentality, and I thought like, this is my family. And even if we lose, someone is going to put their hand on my shoulder and say like, you know what, it's okay. Let's sit, let's talk, and have that empathy, bring that empathy. But what we lacked, Stephanie, is that the communication, the coordination, and of course, empathy.
I want to take it all the way to the end with your goodbye. And it was a very non-traditional exit. It's not often, if at all, that we see someone leave without any votes, and it's decided like that. So were you surprised by that? And what do you make of it looking back? Do you wish there had been a vote, or are you glad that you had this opportunity to do things differently?
Well, as you said, Stephanie, it's a unique way of sending someone off. So it is unique. I'm unique. So I'm okay. Why to make a big deal out of like, put my name on the parchment? Yes, if every super fan would, as a contestant on the show, you want to see your name on the parchment, but I want to see my name on the parchment at the final tribal council.
Exactly.
So if I'm not there and that's not the final tribal council, then I'm fine to get a send off with my guru's hug. So that's how I interpreted it.
Tiffany and Q are really tight.
Amen.
And Kenzie's a mastermind.
He tells us everything.
There was this big moment. You go to the journey with Ben and Liz, and you share a lot of information about how you're feeling, what's going on at the tribe. After it found out that Randon has been evacuated, you tell your tribe what you shared. Looking back, what do you think you might have done differently in that situation? Do you wish that you hadn't shared anything at the journey, or do you wish I shared that information, but maybe not told the tribe and kept that to myself?
Stephanie, that was a strategic move. And I will tell you why. Because it was day 7. I came back from the journey. We were supposed to go to the tribal council. And now that after seeing the 7th day episode, yes, you did see that they were thinking of voting Kenzie off, but I didn't know if that's how it's going to go. And also, I lost my vote. But then the miracle happened. I get to stay. And then I thought, like, okay, what if on day 8 we have, we go into a competition and then someone from my tribe gets to go on another journey, and they find out from other tribes and they would just cook up something and they'd make it blow up into proportion. So rather than hearing from someone else, what if I come clean and say that, hey, this is what I said, but I'm telling you this because I'm trying to be honest with you. I want you all to work with me. And if you do this, I'm going to be your shield. So I'll work with you. I will give it my all in my competitions, which I've been giving it so far in the game. And we can go forward in the game. So work with me. So that's the mindset I brought it to the table. I think, hear it from the horse's mouth rather from someone else. I didn't know you were going to backfire so badly. I thought like they might be like, okay, what is your point? Why did you do this? Da, da, da. I thought like I would have a very good conversation about it rather than like people shutting me off completely and not planning to work with me ever again. So that's how it is. But again, Stephanie, I've read this quote recently. You're not a failure if you have tried. It's not a mistake unless you haven't risked anything. I've tried, and I did make a mistake because I risked everything in the game. So it's not a mistake because I was trying to see how I can play this, and I'm bringing my honesty to the game. I wanted to play the game I wanted to always envision playing, and so yeah, I no regrets.
If you had gotten to play the game that you wanted to play, what would that have looked like come a swap or a merge? Would you have wanted to like retain that loyalty to your tribe, or would you have wanted to work with people from other tribes?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would have seen if Tiffany and Q given me the chance and worked with me, and had we moved ahead, I would have stuck with them. Because that's what I was telling Tiffany. Like I was going to Tiffany time and again. I was like, Tiffany, I want to work with you. She's a beast, by the way. And I like Q's work ethic. This man, he likes people when they're giving it their all. And Q has seen that in me. So that's why I came out to them and said, like, hey, this is what happened. I hope you give me a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have stuck with them only had they stuck with me. If I've heard something like, oh, they're trying to backstab me, and it wouldn't have worked. But, I wanted to work with them.
So what I'm doing is taking my time to actually train them. And that is my job as the coach.
I want to talk to you about Q. You guys had a really interesting dynamic. He kind of took on this coaching role at one point, comparing you guys to like Boston Rob and Phillip. What do you make of that looking back? And what was your dynamic like on the island?
I was playing along. Stephanie, as a super fan of the show, as I said, like I've watched every episode, every season. Plus, I have one of the biggest guru. Jeff Probst is my guru. That man, he helped me through the screen, telling me like, dig deep, don't give up. When I was going through toughest times in my life, watching the show has been a greatest inspiration. And that's the reason why I want to be on the show, so I can inspire people. When Q, he put himself in that role and it's like, I'm going to coach you and all that. Okay. Because I'm already on the outside. I don't want to be like, I don't need your coaching. So I was just playing along. I'm like, yeah, coach me, just play with me.
We saw this conversation with you and Tiffany where she's telling you that she will be writing your name down. Did you have those same conversations with Q and Kenzie where they said the same thing? Where did you feel about where the votes were going to lie before going in?
Right after we lost the challenge and we went to the camp, I asked Q how he's voting, and he said that he's got only one vote, and that's about it. No further conversations with him. And you've seen it time and time again. I've talked to Kenzie. I was going to her and saying, like, Kenzie, how can I play with you? How can I play with you? And you've seen it. I don't want to say anything about my season 46 family. Fans know. Everybody's watching. No, I am trying. I've tried. I've tried and tried. It didn't work out.
If this is what you wanted, if you wanted to end my story so soon, you shouldn't have put me on Survivor in the first place.
I'm so sorry, Bhanu.
I've given it my all for this game.
We saw you go through such a journey after that immunity challenge and before Tribal, just like reckoning with this and trying everything you could. And there's this really powerful moment where you're wondering, like, why is this your path? Why were you put here? And could you take us through what you were feeling in that moment? And now, like, watching that back, what would you tell that version of Bhanu? What advice would you give him?
Stephanie, I've lost my vote. We've lost a battle. I've lost trust in the tribe. There's a saying, when you lose everything, when logic goes out of the window, you turn to God. And that's exactly what I did. I've turned to God and said, like, why did you put me in here in the first place if you want me to drag me back home in like 9 days? What is the reason? But and then I was thinking it last night, and I was thinking, maybe the God has a reason, because he doesn't want me to become someone else with this coaching and with all of this. He doesn't want me to be someone else. And Stephanie, last night after my vote off, a fan texted me and said that, hey, my 7-year-old daughter and I watching the show, and she turned to me and said, like, Mom, why are they voting Bhanu off? He doesn't want $1 million. He only wants 1 million hearts. A 7-year-old asking that meaningful question to her parent. I've done something good, right? I've succeeded. Yes, the $1 million doesn't matter, but a 7-year-old heart, I have it. So there you go. That's your answer. So I think God has bigger plans for me. He doesn't want to change the honest Bhanu. He wants me to retain myself and just go home like a warrior, like a hero, and get a big hug from my guru, Jeff Probst. What a send-off. What a unique way.
Absolutely. What else did you learn about yourself through this experience of playing this game, living out your dream, and getting to watch it all back?
I made some good friends on the show. Jess is like my sister. She's my best friend inside the game and outside the game. We were like very, very close. I apologize to her for yelling one time on the show, and such beautiful soul. She was like, if you apologize to me one more time, and she yelled at me back. And I wanted to tell the fans of Jess, like, if you have it in your hearts, forgive me for that one moment. So I made, some great friends, Jelinski, my brother, Jess, my sister, and there were some other nice connections I made. And to answer your questions, what I've learned from, what have you seen about Bhanu? What you've seen about Bhanu is what I was like, wow, so that's me. And I didn't want to change a bit. I just want to be that. I want to inspire people. And as I said, there's so many Bhanus out there. We're still living in poverty and still don't know which direction to go. And maybe I can inspire at least like one Bhanu so they can say that there's still hope. They don't have to give up on their dreams. That's what I wanted to do. And I hope I did to the best of my ability.